All right, I made some more adjustments to the Glock. Just like anything else, when you shoot competitively and shoot a lot anyway, you're always messing with a few things. Uh, Probably first and foremost, is a lot of times is the optic. Whether you put it on, you don't, whatever. Add iron sights, I don't know, whatever the fuck. But so the optic, you decide what you like: green, dot, circle, red, blue, whatever. But then the next biggest thing is always going to be ammo, grains, types, P plus P, fucking hollows, all that shit. And with the ammo, you start messing with springs, uh, trigger the trigger springs, the firing pin springs, and most importantly, the recoil springs, guide rods, all that shit. Do I add more weight? Do I make it lighter? Do I make it heavier for reliability? What do you do? Anyway, I've gone through the stock spring, the Terran Tactical Competition spring, which I think was 13, and it was really, really, really soft. Liked it, but I was having issues shooting with single hand, but with weak hand, it wasn't returning to battery. So I kept adjusting the grip, adjusting the grains of bullets and everything, but for whatever reason, it just would not go back in a battery. Went back to the stock spring, which is around 18 pounds or some shit. Then I just bought a lot of stuff off of NDZ over the past for other guns, their recoil springs. So I went ahead and went with them and bought one fairly cheap. I think shipped to my house, it was less than 30 bucks. It was 31, 32 bucks. I think the spring was 25, 26, 6, 7, 8 bucks shipping. So I think it was 32 bucks. But anyway, I went with their 15-pound spring. So it's kind of a sweet spot in the middle. More than the 13 that I had, but less than the 18. And I've ran it a few times, and it actually runs pretty fast. So I just shot a bill drill, so I should include that in on the end. That's also because I'm using it as a short, so it'll be long ways, whatever. But we've been out here shooting classifiers all morning, a classifier, so I'm gonna go ahead and run it with the classifier. I actually broke a 3 seconds on this with this gun. My other gun I couldn't get faster than a 3.05 or some shit like that. I don't think I got a 04. I think it was like 3.05 was the fastest I got on my Smith & Wesson M&P. And right off the bat with this one, I think I was like a 319. Then I went to 3 even, a 289, and a 285. So I know I've been shooting the other gun, but either way, it was pretty fast. It's recoiling pretty quick, pretty soft. But the most important is it's still got some resistance right here to where it's not hanging up like the Terran one was. I thought about something one day too when I was at the house, is that maybe the Terran one, I was using all their other springs, the trigger return spring, the plunger spring, the striker spring, firing pin, whatever, and then there was another spring that went along with the guide rod. I was wondering if maybe I went with a heavier hammer striker spring, if that would have kept that in battery. But anyway, I'll play with that later. But this is about the NDZ 15-pound spring. Got it with the little green tip on there. I don't know if you can see the front of it. Matches the OD green for the Glock, plus matches the truck, and usually the colors that I wear, because it's non-gay shit, whatever. But anyway, it's like a fucking zombie green, but whatever. Lights green, dots green, lights white. Anyway, let's run this at so you run this 2 shots on each paper. The first one here from the box is at 15 feet. Then the next set is 25 feet and over 10 foot to the next one, the open. And then 30 feet is the popper, 5 feet over, and the other IPSC target open, 5 feet over. So the farthest distance, the farthest shot is 10 yards. So this is actually a pretty quick setup and a pretty quick times on this. But we don't have a mini popper, so I adjusted as best as I could. I don't know if you can see, I have a 10-inch plate, roughly the top of what a popper size would be. So doing the best that we can. Everything else is pretty much set up to the way it needs to be. So I'm gonna go over here. I already ran a couple bill drills. Really like the way this runs. I'm gonna run this one time, just see what it was, call out the scores, and then maybe we'll calculate and see what that run was. on this. I've already ran it, I think, at a high A class with this gun. I might have ran it at a master class already. But anyway, let's load up and run it before it gets too hot and the fucking camera shuts off. And let's see where we're at. All right, it's getting hot. I can feel the camera getting hot, so we're gonna go ahead and shoot this. Another thing too is if you have 3 feet, so you can stand in the box. I don't think you have to be centered, so you can move over like in Skill Challenge, and you may have a better look in like this transition or like that shorter transition. So whatever you think may be faster, you can kind of mess around and go with that. So let me load up and see if I can break 3 seconds and get all the hits I need. All right, okay, here we go. All right, 292, pretty good. A lot faster than I was shooting with my other gun. I could tell I went real fast on that first shot was the Charlie. So let's just look at them real quick. So the second, so Alpha Charlie. Alpha Charlie, that's close to an alpha. That is an alpha. The steel was hit, and that's not that great. So that's an Alpha Charlie also. So 3 Charlies. Let's see. You have your phone on you? So she'll do the math real quick while we figure this out. So 3 Charlies is down 6 points. So total points of this is 35. So 29 points divided by 2.92.
9.931.
All right, so that's good enough for an A-class run. The 9 point, that was a hit factor. In order to get a master class run, which I think I got out here today once or twice maybe, has to be over 10.6. So that's good enough for an A-class run. That's kind of where I want to be, where I'm trending to go, where I should be now as far as classifiers. So yeah, roughly that was good enough for an A class. That will bump my percentage up. So I did shoot it, like I said, I think I did shoot a master class with this, but hopefully you can see what the recoil looked like in the gun right now, because I didn't really slow it down. Maybe I'll slow one of those bill drills down and put it in there also, or I can slow down the bill drill and put it at normal speed and see what the recoil looks like. But there you have it, NDZ, 25-pound spring. Everybody makes springs. Glock store, I think Terran makes another. This is a captured guide rod spring, not like the Terran one that I have is a guide rod and uncaptured with the spring. You can't find where to get those springs. I think my spring is worn, so you can't order just a spring, and you have to order the full set, which is always out of stock, and it's like $50. So this was $31 shipped to my house. So this may be the option that I go with this gun. I'm fairly happy with the performance. As you see, if I can dial it in, take a little bit more patience at 3 seconds with all alphas is more than enough for a masterclass run. So I have some time, I can clean this up. But there you have it. NDZ 15-pound recoil spring for the Glock19. Check it out if that's an option you're looking for, but kind of like the way it runs now. I really did like the Terran one, but I could probably get these cheaper and more available, so once I wear this one out I could just throw another one in there. So I'm gonna keep messing around with it, and this may be the way I stick with this gun. So yeah, I mean, Glock sucks, but it is still pretty fast. So there you have it. All right, thanks.